Hi, this is Oscar Just here. Today we'll be talking about the 3 programming assignments which I've completed, talking about what I've learned up until now. Starting with assignment 1, the key skill for this assignment was using operators. Operators are symbols that tell the console to perform mathematical or logical operations. Examples of these include addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. The task I chose to do for this assignment was a shipping cost calculator. Basically what it does, it asks the user for various dimensions of the parcel, and then the code calculates the volume, and after that we calculate the distance it's traveling, and then it outputs the shipping cost. So walking through my code, starting at the top, we've got a few statements here. Console writes, these just ask the user for various dimensions of the parcel like width, height, depth. And because these are strings, we need to convert them into integers, and later those get stored as variables. After that, we've got an operator here. So we've got a variable that multiplies these numbers together, and then after that we've got some if statements. So this if statement says if the volume is less than 10, the item rate is £1. Next we've got if the volume is less than 50 but greater than 10, then the item rate is £1.50. If the volume is greater than 50, then the item rate is 1.9. Next we've got a write line asking the user to input the distance that the parcel is traveling, and because this is a string, it's being converted into an integer. If the travel distance is less than 11 kilometers, the item rate is 90 pence. If the travel distance is less than 100 but greater than 11, then the travel rate is 70 pence. If the travel distance is greater than 100 kilometers, then the rate is 50 pence. And then I've got a little write line here which is meant to output the total cost, but I couldn't get this part to work. Okay, so if we run my application, give it a try. So it asks me for the width of my package, so let's do 40, 35, 23. That calculates the volume for us. Item rate is £1.90. Input the distance, let's do 70 kilometers. And I couldn't get that part to work. Assignment. Next up, I've got assignment number 2. The key skill for this assignment was using functions. Function is a selection of reusable code used to perform a single action. And for this activity, I did an application that does some encryption. So if we go have a look at it now. So this is my encryption application. Starting from the top, we've got 3 different variables here. They're all integers, assigned to number 1, number 2, number 3. We've got a function here. This asks the user to input a number between 0 and 9, and then because this is a string, it needs to be converted into an integer. And then this statement verifies if the number is between 0 and 9. If it is, it gets accepted. If it isn't, it says it's invalid. And then the application exits. If the number is valid, then the function returns the number. Next, we've got the encrypt data section. This is where the actual encryption happens. So this adds 5 to the input number. Here we've got some verification, so this checks if the numbers between 0 and 9. If the number's above 9 or below 0, this subtracts 10. For the second number, adds 5 again. Then we check for numbers between 0 and 9, subtracts 10 if it's above 9 or below 0. And then we've got the first number. This adds 5 to the input number. Then we verify if it's between 0 and 9. and then after that we should subtract 10 if it's above 9 or 0, just like the other two. And then here we'll just output the results. And at the end we just we've got another function here with a console write line. Here's the input number plus result 1, result 2, result 3, which all these got stored in various variables like that. If we run my code, please enter a number between 0 and 9, so let's do 8, 6, 4, there we go, all those numbers were valid, they've been accepted, and now I've got an encrypted number there. Okay, so for assignment number 3, the key skill was using collections. A collection excuse me. A key skill is a specialized class using for storing and retrieving data. For this assignment, I chose to do the Christmas song activity, which outputs 12 days of Christmas using loops and collections. So let's have a look at that now. And then we've got the list, which stores all of our numbers. So first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seven, eight. And then after that, we've got another list, which has got the lyrics from the song, 12 drummers drumming, 11 pipers piping, etc. And this, as you probably noticed, this is the other way around. We use this little line to flip it the other way around. And then we've got a little for loop here. So this says integer, and then between 0 and 12, adds 1 each time. So basically what it's saying, it's starting from 0, ending at 12, and then it's moving on to the next line each time. And for each line, it's outputting on the plus the day. So one of these, day of Christmas, my true love gave to me, and then it outputs the items one at a time. So if we try the code now, on the first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me a partridge in the pear tree. Second day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 2 turtle doves, etc., etc. And the code is fully working. Okay, so in this next section, we'll be looking at improvements that I could do to my code. So for assignment number 1, I had an issue where I couldn't output the result of the shipping costs. So here we've got put in the distance that your package is traveling, and then we calculated these using the if statements, but I couldn't actually get this to be output. And then another thing I could fix is use clearer and easier to understand variable names. For example, distance traveled instead of travel. It'll be a bit easier to understand for the people who are reading my code. And for assignment 2, improvements that I could do for that is using numbers, store numbers in data objects by creating a class instead of just using regular variables. Okay, so that's everything. Thanks for listening.